So Trump released his idea of a health care plan. And, of course, it's a massive tax cut for the richest people in the world. And so this is when the Trump supporters start to go, fuck, I'm a chump. That's what happened to me because I voted for Barack Obama, so I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like. They say one thing and then they do the other. So Trump was going to drain the swamp. He drained the swamp and he found his cabinet at the bottom. And now he said, now he says he's not going to cut. Everybody's going to get health care. Now he's cutting everybody's health care, and he's giving the richest people in the country the hugest tax break in the world. So for when people say, "Hey, how are you going to pay for health care? How are you going to pay for free health care? How are you going to pay for free college?" Well, Trump just gave $1 trillion tax cut. That could pay for all that stuff. Okay, so here is Bernie Sanders is got the Honorable Mick Mulvaney, who's bringing the Trump budget to the Senate committee, and he's going to give Mick Mulvaney a dressing down. And watch a guy try not to answer a question and Bernie Sanders not let up. And why is he the only guy doing this? Let's get to that question later.
Family in America gets a $52 billion tax break as a result of the repeal of the estate tax.
That's correct.
Tell the American people why you think that's good when you cut Medicaid and you cut programs for kids. Tell me, let me get back to one question.
Sure.
Why do you think the Walton family needs a $52 billion tax break?
My guess is that you're basing that assertion on the only tax detail that we have in the budget.
The repeal of the estate tax. Exactly.
Right. And if we want to have a talk about why we're repealing that, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Good. Let's tell me.
Because ordinary people are paying more.
No, ordinary people do not have a wealth of $128 billion. That's not an ordinary person.
The average increase across this nation since
You're not answering the question. The question is, answer the question. The wealthiest family in America gets a $52 billion tax break as a result of the repeal of the estate tax.
That's correct.
Tell the American people why you think that's good when you cut Medicaid and you cut programs for kids.
We don't cut Medicaid. We're talking about repealing Obamacare. The results
Throwing
that you
23
mentioned,
million people off of health insurance. That's right.
Which is a CBO number that I think you just agreed could be wrong at the outset.
I didn't agree to that at all.
Okay. That we repeal Obamacare.
Why does a billionaire family get a $52 billion tax break? Please tell the American people.
Because we think it's wrong that real ordinary folks lose coverage. And we want to get rid of
ordinary people. Is the Walton family an ordinary family?
No, they're not. They're extraordinary. But ordinary people are losing coverage today under Obamacare.
I asked you why the wealthiest family in America is getting a $52 billion tax break.
And I'm answering the question by saying because we repeal Obamacare.
No, you end the estate tax, which applies to the top 0.2%.
Senator, okay, I'm sorry. I thought the assumption was we were looking at the tax reductions that are contained in Obamacare repeal.
No, that's not what we're talking about. No.
Okay.
We're talking about the repeal of the estate tax, which you just mentioned.
The budget assumes a deficit neutral tax plan because when we wrote the budget, we did not have nearly enough specifics to assume what you're assuming, which is the specific reductions. Yes, the proposals that the White House published about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the principles that we set forward does include a reduction of the estate tax.
Repeal of the estate tax, sir.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a repeal of the estate tax, but I think it's mathematically impossible to take those general principles and assume a direct impact on a particular family. Nobody can do it. I've seen estimates from groups that say, "Oh, it's going to add the deficit by $2 trillion to $10 trillion." People just
that's really not true. I mean, we don't know when people are going to be dying. That's for sure. But you can make those estimates.
We don't know that people are going to.
No, you don't know when somebody is going to be dying. But the truth is that if the family is worth $100,
I'm pretty sure they're going to die eventually.
That we can be pretty sure of.
Well, at least we agree on something. Thank you,
Senator Graham.
That was borderline fascinating.
It's a big joke to everybody. It's a big laugh to those people. So there you go. $52 billion tax cut just for one family. You know how much free college costs for the entire country? A little over $60 billion. That's one family. Trump just gave a tax cut that could send the whole country to college. Just to one family. Trump did that. He didn't give you free college. He didn't help your family. He didn't help you get a better job or get you minimum wage. He took the richest people in the world who don't know what to do with their fucking money, and he gave them more money. And you know what that does? That stagnates the economy. It's the opposite of what you should be doing. Because when you have an estate tax, if you don't have it, that money is stagnant. If you have an estate tax, that puts that money back into our economy. So somebody has to pay for stuff in America. We have to pay for roads, bridges, schools. We have to pay for wars. We have to pay for bombs. We have to pay for cops and prisons and health. We have to pay for everything in America, and you have to tax people to do it. Who are we going to tax? This just shows you how much power money has in our system. We had to decide who's going to pay. Who's going to pay? Is it going to be living poor people are going to pay taxes, or dead billionaires? And guess who won that vote? Dead billionaires have more power from the grave than living poor people. That's how powerful money is. They already repealed the estate tax, a lot of it. Dead billionaires are more powerful in the grave than living human being citizens. So this is when you realize, when you voted for Trump, you're a chump. Like I was a chump when I voted for Obama. And you go, okay, this is fucked up. We need, what do we do? You get a guy like Bernie Sanders. Just like I know a lot of Trump voters would have voted for Bernie Sanders. And you know who fucked us out of that? The Democrats. The Democrats are responsible for the plight we're in right now in this country. The Democrats are. Anything to say to this video, you guys?
Well, I don't know Nick Mulvaney, right? But why is it that I hate him so much?
Because he's bullshitting right to your face. He's screwing over the poorest people in the country at the behest of the richest people in the country, and he's making it look like he's helping people, which is the most duplicitous bullshit in the world, which makes him scum.
Well, I don't think that guy was fooling anybody, though. I mean, we talk about tells when we show videos a lot. That guy had a plethora. I mean, he took off his glasses. He rubbed his brow. He would look down. He would look away. He tried to make a joke. I mean, it was almost like he was on autopilot. He says estate tax, I say Obamacare. Estate tax, Obamacare. Estate tax, Obamacare.
Well, we've said this, I recall, like, I was really upset a couple months ago when NBC aired these women who were shoplifting.
Oh.
And they would air these two women, and they would show showing them shoplifting from some store.
Poor women.
Do you recognize them? These two women of color. Do you recognize them? I could give a flying fuck about these women shoplifting. This is the guy who's ripping off America.
Yeah, this is the guy.
He's the problem. Corporate tools.
But they've made this legal. So now he's just a nice white guy with glasses. He's trying to make the budget work.
And this guy's image won't be on NBC News tonight as ripping off America.
Oh, this is the guy who's ripping you off. Look how this guy's ripping you off, lying to you. Look how he gets caught lying. He can't answer a straight question. Look at this guy. You'll never hear Brian Williams say that. You're not going to hear that.
Well, he's not pretty like a bomb.
Right, he's not pretty like a bomb. That is correct. Michael, you have lots of insights about lots of things.
It's kind of killing me that we're in this thing where we have to keep repeating. Like, this is what we're talking about. At the best case scenario before, this thing probably would have happened before, but they would have put it in Obamacare where they would have given you benefits and did this at the same time. So I feel like we're just being able to see these things that have always been there. So it's like, how many examples do we have to get to before people will see that, sadly, a lot of that fake news shit that the right is saying is correct?
Well, I'll say this. I don't know specifically what you're referring to, but I know this. Barack Obama codified the Bush tax cuts. Made
permanently,
them,
right?
Made them permanent. Made them permanent. They weren't permanent until Obama came along. Obama then tried to practice austerity to pay for those tax cuts. What do you mean, Jimmy? He tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. Barack Obama. That's called the grand bargain. The grand bargain is, I'm going to cut Medicare and Social Security. That's how you know I'm a grown-up Democrat. That was Barack Obama. He did. Guess who stopped him? The Republicans stopped him. People don't know that either. So what Michael's saying is correct. Now we have an ugly face on the horrible shit our government's been doing all along. And people miss Barack Obama because he had manners. But he was a corporatist who screwed his own fucking people, expanded wars, gave more money to the oil companies, gave more money to big pharma. He gave a right-wing healthcare plan to the pharmaceutical and the health insurance. And that's what he did. So even when we get a completely lefty government, what do? They install a right-wing giveaway to corporations anyway. It doesn't matter. He wouldn't even give us the public option, Barack Obama. So when we elect a completely Democratic government, we get right-wing shit anyway. They cut the Bush tax cuts. They made the banks bigger. They kicked people out of their houses. They expanded the wars, and they tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. That's what the Democratic fucking government. So thank God Trump is there, taking the pretty face off the horrible shit our government's been doing all fucking long. That's why this country got Trump, because of fucking shitty Democrats, and you know it.
And please tell your friends now, or we're going to end up with Cory Booker, who will end up doing like the same type of thing, but will then make it permanent. And it won't be, because then we'll be happy. We'll be like, oh, look, it's Cory. He says nice things and he wears a suit.
And he puts a pink scarf on, so it pretends that he's for women, because he puts a scarf on, and then he makes sure you have to pay twice as much for your medicine. That's Cory Booker. The next live Jimmy Dore show is June 19th in Burbank, California, and July 15th in San Francisco at the Great Star Theater. For all links for all tickets to those shows and our full schedule right there, there's a link to jimmydorecomedy.com. We'll see you at those live shows.